All right, let's talk about something that probably keeps a lot of Airbnb owners up at night. What really happens when you hand over the keys to your property and don't see it for a whole year? We're going to dive into a real-world case study of an owner who did exactly that. And trust me, what she found might not be what you're expecting. I mean, think about it. It's a huge leap of faith, right? You've poured all this time, money, and maybe even some sweat into making a place great. And then you just trust that a revolving door of strangers is going to treat it right. So, after 365 days of that, what are you really walking back into? A nightmare or something else entirely? Let's find out. Okay, so here's our game plan. We'll start with the owner's big return. Then we'll get the all-important condition report, the good, the bad, the ugly. We'll dig into why things went so well. Spoiler, it has a lot to do with management. We'll also touch on location and amenities. And finally, we'll get the owner's final take on the whole thing. All right. Let's get into it. Section 1. The 1-year return. So just imagine this for a second. You're on your way back to your rental in Muskegon. It's been an entire year since you last laid eyes on it. And in that time, it's been booked solid, back-to-back guests you've never even met. You're walking up to the front door. What's going through your mind? Are you expecting the worst? Well, for this owner, this was that exact moment of truth. Okay, so the big reveal. What did she find after a year of non-stop guests? Time for the condition report. And you know what? It was a massive sigh of relief. Her exact words were, "I'm really happy to find that everything's well taken care of." I mean, for anyone who owns a property they don't see every day, hearing that, that is pretty much the dream scenario. So let's break down the quote-unquote damage report after a full year. Get this, a missing chain on a ceiling fan. And she mentioned a couple other small things. That's it. And this place is pet-friendly. No scratches on the floors, no big repairs needed. It's pretty incredible, right? Which leads to the big question. How on earth did they manage that?
Well, the secret wasn't luck. It all came down to one crucial piece of the puzzle, the management advantage.
The owner was super clear about this. The entire success of this hands-off investment really boiled down to a single choice she made at the beginning: hiring a professional property management company. That was the game changer. That's what made this whole thing possible.
So what was their secret sauce? What did they do differently? It was all about being proactive, not reactive. They had a serious vetting process. They weren't just taking any booking that came their way. Nope. They were doing background checks, screening potential renters, and basically filtering out anyone who seemed like a high-risk guest. The whole goal was to protect the property before a problem could even happen.
And I love how the owner put it pretty bluntly. She said the whole point is vetting out the parties that would trash your place. It's simple, right? But it's also an incredibly powerful way to stop disaster before it even has a chance to knock on the door. Now, obviously, great management is huge, but it wasn't the only thing at play here. You can have the best manager in the world, but the property itself has to be appealing, which brings us to our next point: location, and of course, amenities. See, the magic of this property wasn't just the 4 walls and a roof, it was the entire neighborhood. Think about being able to just walk out your door and grab a great coffee, or get some amazing fish and chips at the local saloon, or even take your dog to the park. That walkability creates a whole vibe, a whole experience. And here's the key. That doesn't just attract more guests, it tends to attract the right kind of guests. People who want to enjoy a neighborhood, not just throw a party. And they're way more likely to treat your place with respect. Okay, so we've got top-notch management and a killer location. Let's wrap this all up and get to the bottom line, the owner's final verdict. What this whole story really showcases is a textbook example of a hands-off investment done right. And what does that actually mean? It means the owner wasn't stuck answering messages at 2 a.m. or trying to find a plumber from 1,000 miles away. No, she had a system, a team in place to handle all of that. And that's what turns a rental property from a second job into a source of truly passive income. So if you're thinking about doing this yourself, what are the key lessons here? 1. If you're going to be a remote owner, professional management isn't a luxury. It's absolutely crucial. 2. A tough guest vetting process is basically your best insurance policy against damage. 3. Don't underestimate the power of a great walkable location. It makes your job way easier. You put all those pieces of the puzzle together, and what this story really proves is that a successful, hands-off short-term rental, it's not some fantasy. It's totally achievable. So, at the end of the day, this owner figured out the formula to protect her investment and maybe just as importantly, to get her time and peace of mind back.
And it kind of leaves us with a really big question, doesn't it? As the whole short-term rental world gets more and more crowded, is this hands-off, professionally managed approach still just one way to do things, or is it quickly becoming the new model for how to actually succeed in this business for the long haul?